I was in a discussion this morning in an online community about music production, and someone, were mocking people using their smartphones as microphones for music recordings. And I said, it's amazing what you can get these days, and the equipment is actually better than you'd think. And then it's really not about the equipment. It's about creating something that connects with people. So no matter what, it's really not about the equipment. That's you should really just. Another guy said this some time ago, some years ago, said, because he's a YouTuber, and he said, people ask me about equipment for making YouTube videos, and the best equipment is whatever you have on you. It's just. It's about getting the moment, I
have all these different friggin' cameras, but I reckon at least 50% of my YouTube stuff is recorded on my smartphone because it's just handy unless I want to walk around holding, me gimbal or me friggin' action camera in my hand the whole time. Sometimes it's just more practical your camera's in your pocket the whole time, so you can just whip it out and record But
it's about catching the moment, getting the shot. It's and of course there are times when you can really, nurture and dive deep into getting the best drone shots or whatever it is, and there's a time and place for that as well. But those very snappy short clips, can oftentimes be your best, what hits best with your audience.
Well, that's it, isn't it? So, no, this webcam was on sale. It was like $100, back to $35 on Amazon. So I was like, yeah, I can't just buy it. See what it's like for $35. If it's no good, it'll just go in the drawer with all the other useless tech that I own and never use anymore. So,
yeah. I have a drawer as well with stuff that I really should be clearing out and just because sometimes a lot of it is 10, 15 years old, and I don't even have the correct wiring, the correct plugs. It's just like
this Logi one I've had. I think it was old when I bought it because it was only cheap as well, but it's certainly not like 1080 clarity or anything like that. So it comes across a little bit foggy, and so I chuck it back on the desk somewhere there.
Well, you look. It really looks good, and it's a more of a wide angle thing as well. I mean, I can see more of the background.
Yeah, so can I. It's I guess when I do it on my phone, I'm sort of doing it upwards, like in in portrait, not in landscape. So I don't know if you can change the settings. I haven't looked because I only just plugged it in the second you messaged me to say I'm ready to go. So I just whacked it in and turned it on. So assuming there's probably some settings I can play around with. Seems okay though at this stage. So
So how are things? Oh, to the listener, we are already way into the episode here. Southern summers, northern winters. Mark in Australia, Anders in Munich. It's one of those. We just, as soon as the connection is on, we just talk.
Yeah, we start talking, don't we? So that's the way it goes, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, no, not much to report here. Just it's been cold for us, as I say, in the middle of winter. Been a lot of frosts and fairly fresh of a morning, but that's
you're quite packed in there with a jumper on, and
I am. I'd probably have my beanie on if I could have found it, because I'm down in the shed. I was going to sit in the lounge room where it was a bit warmer, but Rebecca had just got home and from work, and so she would have been wandering around and doing a few things, and I didn't want to make her sit out in the kitchen in the cold. So I thought, I go out in the cold, I can always do my jacket up a bit higher. And
so what do you in Australia? Because when you say cold, I know it's like 10 degrees or something like that, probably. But what you don't do you have a fireplace in the house or something?
No, I don't. I just have a heater in the I don't know. We have a gas heater because gas was a long time use here, not so much these days, and it's fairly old. And we only have heating really in the lounge room at our house. So I do have an reverse cycle air conditioner too, though, that I can run on heat in the lounge room as well, which I try to do mostly because electricity is cheaper than gas. So there's a real difference. It's really funny. There's a real difference in the heat, though, that both of them produce. Like the gas heater, this might sound strange, it seems to produce a thicker heat that hangs around in the lounge room longer when you turn it off. Like the lounge room will stay warm for, half an hour or more after you turn it off. But the air conditioner, the moment you turn it off, it goes cold, like really quickly. So I don't know whether, it sounds really strange, but I don't know. The heat.
No, I think it's because the gas heaters, the heat is more substantial. It's more. Yeah, and also probably the heating element in the gas heater probably it's not turning cold the minute you turn it off. It stays warm for a while.
Yeah, that's it. So there's a real difference in the heat, but there's a difference in the price too because gas is much more expensive. So you're not actually in Victoria where we live in Australia. You're not actually even allowed to install a gas heater anymore or any gas sort of appliances. So they've sort of gone away from it because it's a cost factor and environment factor. Fire factor and all these sort of things. So they're banned now. Obviously, if you've got one still, because our house was built about 1970, so it's like 55 years old. I don't think it's the original heater, but the heater's definitely been here since we've been here, and we've been here since 2001. So it's certainly I'd say it's at least 30 years old, this heater. It's in our house. So, But I think there was a fireplace. There's a fireplace behind it. So at one stage, I think most people did away with their fireplaces and sort of put heaters over the the gap where the fireplace is, because there's a chimney in the roof behind it. So
So
once upon a time there would have been a fireplace in there, but it's too expensive to buy wood, or I think it is anyway. So
it's mostly for the coziness, isn't it? For the aesthetics.
And it gets dirty, and you've got to clean it out, and all this sort of stuff that goes on with it. Like buying wood, it costs you. Like I drove past the trailer the other day. It's like about $300 Australian for like a 6x4 trailer load, of wood, stacked up. High as well. So it's certainly not cheap. If you were burning, you'd probably need to go through. I would suggest you'd probably go through 2 or maybe more of them in a winter. So you're probably looking at, $600 or $700 in wood to get you through the get you through the season, which you probably are paying in gas as well. But we have like a gas stove and a gas hot water service as well. So there's a few gas options that are going on in our house besides the heater. So,
I built a house like 25 years ago in my previous life, and it was a gas heated house with the warm cold inverter and zero energy and everything, and they're facing those things out as well. But as we built it, I remember we also had like a pipe going to the stove because we insisted on having a gas stove. Not the oven; it was electric, but the burners. For better cooking. They say that they're better to cook with, and I've had it on several occasions, and I must say I do prefer. Now we have induction, but I do prefer the gas. It's just a different heat. I find
gas is easier, I think, to manage on your hot plate, than electricity is. Like electricity, you just go really, really hot and burn everything, or then really, or not hot enough. But in the oven's not so much an issue. Like we actually have an electric oven, but a gas hot plate cooker, and I find the hot plates are really probably because I haven't used them a lot, but when we find them, they seem to heat up too quick, or and things like that start to burn, and so but I guess that's life, isn't it?
It is. It is.
First world problems we're talking about now, aren't we?
Yeah. No, it's interesting. But I mean, one of the things. Yeah, this podcast is about traveling, but it's also about leading a life in really opposite parts of the world.
I suppose.
Yeah.
So I assume you have like central heating, or I know you've only got a small house, but do you have like more than there's like you got like vents in each room or anything like that, or just one heater?
We have radiators in each room. Yeah. And they produce a more, as you say, a more steady heat.
Yeah.
And they're not on in the summer at all. And we have shutters for the window. As we speak, we have a heat wave in Europe, and what's really effective, I must say, we didn't have this in my native Denmark, but what's really effective are the shutters that keeping the heat out and making shade before the sunshine hits the glass in the windows. Yeah. Because the minute the sun hits the glass heats up, and then the whole room heats up, the whole house heats up. So I mean, Southern Europeans they really know this from ancient building culture and
you don't see too many of the roller shutter, as they call them in Australia. Most houses have a canvas awnings that pull down on the outside and they go out on an angle like that. Like we have them on every window at the front of the house because that's where the afternoon sun shines in. At the back we've got a big veranda, so the sun very rarely actually gets under it when it's coming up from the back. So, but the radiator heaters. You don't see them in Australia. Like it's not something that's that I've never been to a house in Australia and seen a radiator.
No.
So
I remember once we visited some family in Melbourne, and they had a very modern house, a very nice house, and they were very proud that they had they had double glazed windows.
Yeah.
Well, in Europe, triple glaze is more or less standard now.
Well, I think now you've got to have double glazed. It's a law now, and I stress another law for to keep the heat out and the warmth in. We don't. We only have single glazed windows in this old house, so it does get, if you're sleeping next to a window, like if your bed's pushed against it, you can certainly feel the cold coming through the windows at times. But I think a lot of things in Australia, I don't know whether, they say climate's changed, and I guess it probably has, but most things I think Australia were built more for the heat in the old days, not so much the cold, and it seems to be I had a friend who was a Canadian, and he often said to me, he said, the one thing about you Australians is you dress for what the best case scenario weather is. So if the forecast is 24 to 30, Australians will dress for 30, not for 24. And houses are similar. They're not new houses, but older houses are not prepared for the heat and cold that is once around. And you can put a heap of insulation in your roof and in your walls and things like that. But a lot of old houses were built out of cement sheeting and stuff, which is full of asbestos these days, which is okay as long as you're not interrupting it. It doesn't affect you. But if you have to pull these houses down, you have to go. I had a bathroom fixed at one stage, and the bathroom was only a small bathroom, maybe 3 meters by 3 meters, and I had to get someone to come and take the asbestos away, and it was like $3,000 to remove this tiny section of asbestos lining that they used to use in the 60s and 70s. So
we have the same issue. We have the same issue here in Germany, and the thing, and even in Denmark as well. I know the thing is. This is politics, because they make it expensive to get. I know the processing of asbestos is something that you have to take measures. You have to protect yourself, and for the workers handling this. This is an issue, but it should be something that the society pays for. The thing is, in all the private households, when you want to get rid of asbestos, we had some planting big pots outside that were made by asbestos as well. And I had to get rid of them, and I drove to the community compound where you can get rid of all that, and they wouldn't take it, and I had to go to a separate place at the other end of the city.
Yeah.
And I had to pay per kilo to get rid of it. And it was expensive. The thing is, many people will simply drop this in nature, in the woods.
Yeah, dump it.
And so I as I said because I paid my fee and all that. But I said, in principle, this is wrong. You should make it as easy and as cheap for people to get rid of this. So that the government, the society can deal with it safely and as it should be, instead of having people going rogue and just dump it in nature.
Yeah. You see a lot of that here, like not so much asbestos. We see a lot of probably what you see most around here is mattresses dumped because it costs you. I think last time I took just a mattress to the tip, or as we call it, or the rubbish dump, or whatever you call it there. To take a single mattress was like $50 Australian to rid yourself of a mattress because they have to pull it apart like at the depot to recycle obviously the metal in the middle. So there's all this associated costs with it. So you often see mattresses dumped, on back roads and all over the place.
Really, it's just. And I don't know what goes on in the heads of these people doing it, but it's just, I mean, it's really an idiot move, and really you're not really doing your local community any favors there.
It's really dear to go to. It's really dear to go to the tip as well. Like so, you see lots of stuff dumped because of that. I think take a 6x4 trailer. To the tip, just that can't be over the top, just flat, equal with the top, is around $30 or $40 Australian to take it to a tip. So and a lot of people are like, if you're cleaning something out and you got 4 or 5 trailer loads, all of a sudden you're up to $200 or $300 to go to the tip. So a lot of people, especially around here, because I live in a rural area, people just drive out in the bush somewhere and, back trailer into the into a little dirt road off forest and friggin' dump it, which does nothing for the environment or the look of the place.
Exactly.
That's for sure. But it's a lot of money. A lot of money.
We don't pay for anything but really dangerous rubbish. So any poison, anything that can do damage to the environment. That's where we have to pay. Like mattresses, we go to the dump and they can handle that, all metal and furniture, old furniture and stuff like that.
Funnily enough, they used to do that. They used to do that here before they privatised it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. If there's a private company handling all this,
that's it.
They will charge you.
Yeah, because the local government used to run all the tip sites around in our shire, and then they privatised it, and all the prices went up, and this happened. And I find it a real con because at the moment they've changed all our bins. So now we've got you always had a recycle bin. So the recycle bin had anything recyclable, cans, bottles, cardboard, paper, you name it. And we used to have just one general rubbish bin. So everything would go in a general rubbish bin, food scraps, plastic bags, things like that. They can't be recycled or non-recyclable. So now they've introduced another bin where we have to separate all our, food scraps and green waste into one bin. And that's only so they can recycle it and turn it into mulch and then sell it anyway. And you go, well, you guys are making all this money now off this other bin, but, I'm sure the prices of going to your facilities to dump stuff won't go down, even though you are about to make a shit ton more money because everyone's, sorting stuff into, compostable, area where, you could wait for it to dry out or whatever, and then you'll sell it by the bag load or the truckload to, to people who need it.
We even have to sort the glass bottles by color, and sometimes when the containers are full, people place them in front of the containers, but also still aligned in color. It's very German.
Very
Very accurate. It's actually a sight to see. But
you can take yours to the shop though, can't you?
Yeah, we can do because they have recycling system for usually for beer and some wine bottles, but all the other stuff, like jam glasses and whatever, and most wine bottles as well.
Like plastic Coke bottles, like
plastic bottles, all plastic and tin foil and aluminum. It's also sorted. Some the soda cans, they are recyclable. So you there's a deposit on these. It's usually 25 euro cents. So there's actually an incentive to not just
take it back.
So
they just sort of brought that in Victoria maybe, I don't know, 18 months ago or 2 years ago, but there's no big wide rollout like there is. I know, like in Germany, I've been to a supermarket and they have like a big machine at the supermarket where you can feed your bottles in country. Where that doesn't happen here. You've got to take them specifically to like a recycling centre or something.
Oh, okay.
Or a company that's doing it, and you get 10 cents back per, I don't know, plastic bottle, wine bottle, beer bottle.
I mean, here in Europe, every single supermarket really has a machine that you can turn all your empty bottles into, and you get a receipt, and then with a barcode, and you use that as payment in the supermarket directly. Yeah.
I think here, like I've been to this recycle plant because like some of the guys that I work with in the disability field, like they collect cans for some pocket money. So we go and take them in and you just hand these bags over and they just put it on a big conveyor belt and it just slides up into some machine, and at the end they give you a receipt, and they've got like an ATM machine just on the other side of the processor, and you just put your slip in there and it hands you out money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you can just go and you can go and spend it, however you want, I guess. After that, but it takes a lot of cans though to get some money. That's for sure. 10 each. So you're looking at 100. What's going on here? You're looking at 100. You're looking at 100 cans to get $10. Which
the thing is, for some people collecting empty bottles in the city streets and stuff, they're poor people that want to support their income with, or even homeless people.
It's good for them.
They can actually gather a significant amount of money, at least for a meal during the day, and I usually just give in the city, if I have a soft drink or something, I just give them the bottles so that they can it's better than it's just being thrown away, and we have all this extra waste, so.
Most definitely. Okay, well, that's enough about trash, isn't it?
Enough trash talk, yeah. So we went to Regensburg the other weekend, and that was great. It was our second or third time there, and it's the old main city of Bavaria. I don't think it was ever the capital, but it was certainly a very important, because it's on the Danube River.
Yep.
And it was a very important trade city, and they still a significant amount of boat traffic there. Now it's mostly river cruises. Popular, it's mostly river cruises nowadays. Yeah. But a lot of tourists. And yeah, we were there. It was very hot, like boiling hot. But yeah, I can really recommend Regensburg because it's also a university city. So there's a lot of youth communities. There's a young vibe,
So
student.
How far is it from Munich? Not far? An hour?
It's an hour and 15 minutes by train.
Because I think don't the riverboats stop there and then they do a tour to Munich? I know a lot of riverboat cruises have a visit to Munich, so I assume they must just stop there and then bus people, into Munich for a day trip or something like that, and then come back, I would assume. So, because I always found that strange. Before I really had looked at it, you have these riverboat cruises. They're you have a stop in Amsterdam, a stop in Munich, a stop in, Budapest or whatever. I'm thinking, I'm sure is it the Isatar or the Isatar? What's the river name in Munich? The Isar?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I'm sure I've never seen a riverboat on that. When I've been to Germany, but obviously.
Well, on the Isar here in Munich, it's too shallow, and there's too much stream.
Yeah.
For doing any significant boating activity. You can do small canoes, small river rafting, but big river cruises, we can't have that. It's simply not. The river is too shallow.
Was it expensive?
What's expensive?
Regensburg, was it?
It wasn't. No, we spent in a very nice small boutique hotel. We spent €100 for a double room, and it's newly renovated. This was without breakfast. We went to a cafe around the corner for breakfast.
Yeah.
That was about €20 per person, but we had a more elaborate breakfast.
Hotel breakfasts are hit and a miss. Sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're just. And Rebecca, she loves a hotel breakfast. She's always when you book a hotel, you get hotel breakfast. But it's all right if you're there for a couple of days. But I find if you're staying somewhere for a week or more and you're getting breakfast every day, it's really just a variation of the same breakfast nearly every day. And after a while, you're yeah, okay, I've had enough of this. When we were in Thailand, for instance, and we stayed at the resort for 8 nights. So we had 9 breakfasts in 8 nights. And I think by the end of it, the last few days, I was just having peanut butter on toast or something like that because there was only so many noodle dishes and rice dishes I could eat for breakfast.
That's exactly when it gets expensive, I think, because you probably you pay the same amount every day, and it's just no matter what you eat, and it's if you really end up with just having a toast with jelly or whatever, that's just too much. So I completely agree. When you travel, I wouldn't even say long term, but it's just a week or two in the same hotel. It's just. I prefer not to order breakfast and just, some hotels they offer you can just go down and just pay for the day for that breakfast, for that morning. That's a better option where you don't have to commit by check-in to the entire stay.
Yeah, I'd actually prefer to stay in an apartment with a fridge so I could just go and get some yogurt or some cereal or, breakfast is just breakfast. It's just the start of the day.
It is. And to be honest with you, breakfast in a hotel it's not really fulfilling in any way. You can have some fruit, you can have some I don't know. We call it muesli here in Europe. It's just the mixed. And yogurt and all of that, it's nice. But if you go to, for instance, I just saw a video about this from a hotel in Vegas. It was literally just sugared stuff, Fruit Loops, the whole cereal stuff. It's only sugar, and they had pancakes and they had French toast and. It's just not very nutritional. It's not very healthy. It's just and I can't eat stuff like that. I'll go down in about an hour after I've had some, and I'll have like a sugar shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, hotel breakfast, hit and a miss.
It really is. No, so what we did was we took the German ticket, the Deutschland ticket. We had no reservation for train. We had reserved the reservation for the hotel, obviously, but we didn't know anything about. We had not reserved the train.
Yeah.
So we just went to the Hauptbahnhof, central train station, at a convenient time, and just took the first regional train towards Regensburg. It was nice. I think it was delayed, but we didn't care. We just took the first available train. So if we'd had reservations, we would probably be annoyed about the delay. But we didn't, and we just went there and took the train, and it wasn't half full even. So it was lots of space, and the same way back. It was nice. It was really just.
That's 2 seats on that side. 2 seats on that side of the aisle. Is that
the open space wagonettes? Yeah.
Those seats facing each other with a table in the middle, or
we had that. Yeah. On actually both out and back. Yeah, and it's. I think I've mentioned it before. The German ticket. It's just really convenient, and we pay for it every month anyway. So it didn't. There was no extra cost. No. It was just going there, and then obviously we went out to eat. We stayed there for 2 nights, and we just went out to eat and had. We went to a couple of breweries, but that was more for lunch, and you always had these typical Bavarian lunch snacks, with the pretzels and the creamy cheese mixes and. So these, Mark. The Bavarian lunch is very hearty.
What about dinner? Did you go anywhere? Any foreign restaurants for dinner?
For dinner, we went to. What did we have for dinner? Oh, the first night, just across the street from the hotel, there's a nice Italian restaurant, so we went there. And they're really probably the best Italian restaurant I have been to in Bavaria. So it's really nice.
That's good then.
Yeah. And the second night we went to a tapas restaurant, Spanish tapas. Yeah. Very nice as well. Very nice.
Good.
Yeah. So because we live in Bavaria, we didn't really feel like going to a traditional Bavarian restaurant, even though it's in Regensburg.
We do that every night of the week in Munich, can't you?
So we went to. We asked a couple of friends for recommendations, and they recommended we actually knew the Italian restaurant already, and we said, because it's across the hotel. We've been to the hotel before. Couple of years ago, and so we wanted to go there, and it's a really nice restaurant. So
I remember going to Spain many years ago when a tapas was original and free, and you'd buy a glass of wine and you'd get a little tapas with it for free. I don't assume they do that anymore, but.
No, I wouldn't say it was cheap. It wasn't expensive either. It was like mid-range. We paid 120 euros for 2 people with all the drinks and bottles of water because it was hot. So that's kind of what I'd expect, for 2 people. And it was with a coffee and a sweet dessert. Yeah. So.
Excellent.
So that's kind of. I would say that's probably what you should expect, like 50 to 60 euros with drinks per person in Europe at the moment. That's kind of where we are. Yeah. What's that in Australian? That's probably what's that? $80, $90 Australian?
No. What are you? 110 euros. Well, yeah, that'd be up. Yeah, I think it's about 58 euros to 100 at the moment, or 59.
Okay.
So
about
$100.
200. Yeah, about $100 per person. Then, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, as long as it's good, and that's the main thing, I guess, isn't it? So, okay. So that was at any museums or cultural places.
There are in Regensburg. There are quite a lot to see, actually. You can obviously you can go by a river day trip with boats. There's a place called Valhalla, which is nice. It's a monument, and you sort of enter from the river, and then you go up a lot of stairs. It's built in like a big Roman mausoleum style.
It's white, isn't it? White circle thing, isn't it?
It's huge.
I don't know where I've seen this, but I have seen it. So I haven't been there, but
it's a lot of statues and sort of I wouldn't say Christian, but it has like this overnatural appearance godly appearance when you go there.
Is it spelled with a W or a V?
It's spelled with a W in German.
Yeah,
Valhalla.
Which is pronounced with a V a lot. Valhalla.
Valhalla. Yeah.
So there's a town near us. There's a town near us called Walhalla. That's how Australians pronounce WHALLA. So pretty much the same, but Australians actually say the W is a W and not the W is sort of a V sounding like they do in Europe. So we call it Walhalla. So if we went there, we would say, "Oh, we're going to Walhalla."
Yeah, Walhalla is originally, you know where that word comes from, right?
Vikings.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Nordic mythology, you know.
Yeah.
It's the place where Thor and Odin they lived, you know.
Definitely. Yeah. Actually, I've been watching the Vikings television series again lately. That was on at one stage there. Ran out of things to watch, so I go back and start rewatching favourites that I used to watch. So I was watching that the other day. But
it's great.
Good. Sounds like you had a really good weekend. So what? You went on Saturday, come back Monday.
We went on Saturday and came back Monday afternoon. Yeah. Yeah, and it's a World Heritage City, so there's a museum dedicated to that, and then there's a Bavarian, not national museum because that's here in Munich, but there's a Bavarian History Museum, and they're both very, very good. At the moment there's an exhibition about Bavaria through the Second World War. That's the kind of thing about the Germans. You can learn a lot about the Second World War here. They're very aware of not forgetting what happened and what led up to the Second World War, the mechanisms, the democratics, mechanism that took place, in the 20s and 30s. They documented very well and thoroughly in order to make sure that this doesn't happen again, at least not in Germany. So
it should be. I mean, there's no use, hiding history or whitewashing history or whatever you want to call it. I mean, you can't learn from it if you want to hide it. Like this sort of stuff goes on in Australia at the moment not at the moment, but probably the last 5 years where, people try and, vandalise statues of, Captain Cook and things like this because he came to Australia and, and killed the Aboriginals. And even in our area, there was a early explorer named Angus McMillan, and, he, not famously, but infamously, drove a tribe of Aboriginals off a cliff, like 150 years ago 200 years ago when they were settling the area, people were like, we should pull down all the statues and this and that. Okay, I see that point, but if you pull them down, then no one can learn about what they were about and what
that's exactly it. Yeah,
they did. I mean, these things were built in a time when that was acceptable. It's no longer acceptable now, but that's no reason to try and change the past or what happened. It's there now as a learning point to learn what this person did, and then hopefully learn
exactly.
From that,
there's there maybe you could sort of. You should certainly not destroy the statues, but maybe they shouldn't have like a very prominent place in the
city. And that's the thing, they're not prominent. They might be on the side of a road somewhere where he camped, and there's not a lot of them. There might be maybe 5 or 6 in this area, in 100 kilometres, where, it might say on this day, this guy and his explorers, they travel through here, some of them don't even mention the fact that he sorted a heap of, natives, because obviously that's not what you make a statue to commemorate. Like, you're not going to put that on the bottom of it. So, it's just like a location marker, or, like a sort of like a cenotaph that you'll see somewhere that, so it's quite bizarre. It seems to have calmed down a bit now, but about 2 years ago it was raging strong. All the Captain Cook statues in Melbourne had ended up with red paint thrown all over them,
I think it's misunderstood correctness. It's I can understand the sentiment, sort of, but yeah, as you say, we make sure we don't forget. I mean, Lord Nelson on Trafalgar Square. He probably he wasn't always nice to.
Well, mate, and no one was in them days. Like we didn't have a world full of woke politics back then. That's the.
We did not. And that's another thing. Funny you should mention it, because I've been thinking about this, because nowadays, buildings, big monumental buildings, they don't get built anymore because of, worker unions. And I'm not saying all that is wrong. That's absolutely as it should be. But it has become so crazily, expensive to build like a cathedral. It doesn't happen anymore. These century-long, construction projects. They don't happen anymore. We still have the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, and that's probably going to be the last one.
I'd say so. I think that's about due to be finished maybe this year or next year. Or
within the next couple of years, next 5 years.
Have you ever been there?
No, I have not. Unfortunately, I have not. Have you been there?
Absolutely amazing building. Like, you go inside it and it's just like, how did they even like build something that looks like that? So have very fond memories of going there just once.
I think it's sad that, because we talk a lot about artificial intelligence and human beings being under threat from machines and stuff. We should make sure that we're still able to create as humans. We're still able to create something that's greater than us. And we sort of forget that craft.
We do. We certainly do. That was one of the reasons why it took so long, because there was no craftsmen around who could still build or do, the way they were building things, 100 years ago when Gaudi first started building the church. Like, they were running out of people with them skills to be able to actually do that stuff. So
I agree. It's I'm not saying, of course workers should, be in a union. They should have rights. They should be treated, with respect and paid well and all of that.
It takes so long to do anything.
But it makes, you have to find a way to get back to that, way of creating something that, even though you work 20 years or 30 or 40 years of your life on something, you're probably not going to see the end of it. You're probably not going to see it finished. It's sad that we do not build like that anymore. Even residential homes, they are built, very fast, cheap, and they don't last.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Everything's about the pace, isn't it? Life is. Everyone's in a hurry. Everything needs to be done yesterday. It's I wish they would build an airplane that would go faster. That would be nice. Like, build something that would help us all, like an airplane that, that goes faster, because
we've sort of lost the art of wonder of making something that, makes you wonder, which is, I'm not a huge Elon Musk fan, but I can sort of buy into his vision about space and, exploring the universe, and because it's part of human nature. It's part of human DNA, isn't it? We've sort of seen everything there is to see, except the deep seas, but we've seen everything else there is to see on planet Earth. So we start to get bored, and then we go into war with one another.
I bought some SpaceX shares in the IPO.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not many. I applied for $500 Australian worth, but it was oversubscribed. So you only got 40% worth. So in the end, I only got like about $180.
But hold on to them for 10 years and see where we are. Yeah.
Yeah, what happens with them? So because I'm a dabbler on the stock market, not a lot. I would never put more than $500 on any one thing because I don't want to lose my money in the end. If I don't make any money, that's okay. But as long as I don't lose,
that's true.
Lose my money, I'm fine with it. So I go about $500 is enough, and so I was like, look, it's not going to go down straight away. If anything, I probably could have sold it after the second day because it was up 100% after the.
Oh, really? Wow! Yeah.
Yeah, it was up 100% the day after it floated, and but now I think it's only up. I think yesterday it was up 15% from its initial float, so it had gone way up, and it's just you find a nice
sort
steady,
of stabilized,
stabilized area. Now,
I bought for €100. Cryptocurrency, not the very expensive thing, just a few others, and they're really down. I bought it to understand the mechanism, sort of follow the mechanism and see, what happens. And it has been a very poor investment. I think I'm down to like €55 worth now. I paid 100 in total for my portfolio. I
sold all the crypto I had not long ago, but I had a pretty good run with it. I had like $500 or $600 in this XRP Ripple. It was called, which is one of the more well-known ones. And I had a girl I worked with, and her brother was right into it. And she's like, "You should buy some of this stuff." So I sat on this $500 for ages, and it really wasn't doing much. And then it shot up to about $2,500. So I took $1,000 of it out when it got up to that, and left $800 in it. But then over the last 12 months, it had just been dwindling away, and it was back to about $700, nearly my original investment. So I just pulled it all out about 2 weeks ago and went, okay, it's going nowhere. So in the end, I made about $1,200 out of.
That's great, And if you've been a real speculator in this, you could have invested like $1 million. Then you would have made a lot of money.
Yeah, but it's only if you can afford to lose that money, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. There's always these questions, what if? What if?
Well, this is it. What if I had done that? And you see that all the time, but then you go, what if I had lost it all too? That's the
that's exactly
right, isn't it? So,
that's exactly
yesterday I endured my own personal form of hell. Yesterday when I had to take Marley to the airport, and I couldn't fly anywhere. I couldn't have a beverage. It cost me money to drive there, cost me money to park there, and I couldn't even go on a holiday. So that's my That's my own personal version of hell, is taking someone else to the airport or picking someone else up from the airport and not being able to go anywhere.
That's terrible. I drove my mother-in-law and picked her up again some weeks ago, and it you're right. That's not a pleasant experience because
it was not.
What stays with you in your top of mind is the ripoff of parking.
Yes. What does parking? Is parking expensive? Obviously, in Munich.
Yeah, you pay per 10 minutes at the Munich airport.
Well, I think I only paid for an hour because I read the fine print, and actually, if you pay for an hour in Melbourne, you get a grace period of an hour each side of it as well, which I don't know if many people actually read the whole lot when it's right down the bottom of the terms and conditions. So I generally use that to my advantage because I know I'm not going to be there more than 3 hours, but I may be there more than 1 hour. And I think 1 hour of terminal parking costs It's not that bad these days. I think it's about $14 Australian, so it might be 10 euros for an hour, possible. But I'm always there probably 2 hours. So because
So in Munich it's €3 per 10 minutes. So yeah,
that's dangerous, isn't it? Eh?
Yeah. I'm kind of bothered by it because no matter how you want to go, obviously now we have the German ticket, so we can take the S-Bahn to the airport. It's about an hour's drive outside of Munich. It's far away. It's 55 kilometers. So no matter how you get to the airport, there's a cost. And I think that's where I have a problem.
And besides the parking, to get to Melbourne Airport, it's on a toll road. So that toll road then probably costs me maybe another $15 each way as well to get to the airport, unless I want to crawl through some small back streets of the northern suburbs of Melbourne and take twice the amount of time to get there. So it'll probably cost by the time.
That's a little dangerous if you have a plane to catch and you're caught in a traffic jam or something. Yeah, all these back roads.
That's it. And maybe if I lived in Melbourne, I'd probably take the back roads. But it takes about 3 hours to get there from here. So after 2.5 hours to get to the centre of the city, I'm like,
you just want to go there.
Just take the freeway, take the toll road, and just get out to the airport. And
I remember the first years I was going from Denmark by car to Tuscany in Italy. We Europeans tend to go by car, for summer holidays, and we were going there, and I said, I don't want to pay for the toll roads at all. Yeah, that was just like, the first day. Just say, forget it. This is
convenience in the end wins out a lot, doesn't it? After a while. But toll roads are friggin' dear, aren't they? Everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember being in France and there was like a whole booth, every 50 kilometres or something on the highway when we were staying in France. So I remember driving from Luxembourg City back to Paris, and there was like, every 50K or so you'd have to stop and pay another toll and another toll and another toll.
And you know what they don't do that in Italy. That you pay when you enter from the Brenner. You come across the mountain at the Brenner Pass, and then you just go down. There's a big toll booth. Entering Italy, more or less, and then you just
Czech Republic's like that as well.
Yeah, so you just go through there. You grab a ticket, you get a ticket, and then wherever in Italy you exit the highway, you just pay your fee. I think they're introducing now video, so they film your plate, and then you just. The thing is,
that's what they do in Melbourne.
Yeah, exactly. In France, I've never tried it in France, but they say that if the time span between entering and exiting the highway, and if they can say, you have not been respecting the speed limit.
Yeah,
they will actually, calculate and then give you a fee for exiting too fast.
Yeah, they can do that in Australia too. There's like point-to-point speed cameras, so they'll catch you, take your plate here, and then the other camera might be 50 kilometres along the road. And if on average, this is not actually on a toll road, this can be on a freeway, and then at the other end, if they work out that your average speed is more than what the speed limit is, then they can send you a speeding fine. Yeah, because you're in France. I think speed limit was 130 last time we were there, so I thought that was a pretty decent speed limit for for Australians. It is because we can only go 100, 110 some places, but so quite.
That's where I kind of that's. Well, maybe I've been living too long in Germany now because Germans are very, very, very reserved in terms of electronic surveillance. We do not like that at all.
Yeah.
It goes back to the 20s and 30s. the government should not ever bother with my life, my private life. Privacy is a big thing for Germans, and they don't like the surveillance at all in any form or shape. So this is something that it wouldn't go in Germany. It really, if you get caught like with a blitz on the highway, that's one thing, fair and square. That's, but not
having
not
a number plate tracked.
But not something like you go from A to B and you end up at B a little too fast. No, that's where it gets a gray area for the Germans,
Oh
yeah.
Amazing, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. So, Mark, it's been a great 1 hour with you again. I really enjoy these talks. Let's see where we are in a week. Are you planning anything travel-wise, or going to?
I'm not going anywhere.
What was Marley going?
Marley's in Bali, so she went to Bali last night. So she turned 18 on Wednesday. She had a party here in our backyard with 30 teenagers. Bloody hell, was that an experience and a half? But yeah. And then then she went to Bali on Monday. So 5 days after turning 18, she was on the plane with a friend. Her and her friend went to Bali last night about, I don't know, I think their plane left 4 o'clock out of Melbourne yesterday afternoon. So we got up and drove them to Melbourne, dropped them off, waited till she went through passport control or whatever it is into the international area, and we jumped in our car and drove the 3 hours back.
Yeah. So did she do her research on the family Facebook page for Bali?
She's been to Bali 5 times, so she's plenty well aware of what's going on, which was good because she took a friend with her, and her friend had never been to Bali or had never.
Oh, okay. So she's sort of a local guide for her.
Yeah, but we've also got a bloke we know, a driver who we use all the time, and we're in touch with on Facebook, and we sort of help him get some business like through our Facebook page. So he was going to pick him up, and he'll take him back to the airport, and it's going to take him on a date tour somewhere. So she's got someone, who can help her out if anything.
Yeah, there's a trusted person. That's always good,
Yeah. And in the end, we're only 6 hours away if we need to go and jump on a plane anyway, so it's not the end of the world. But she'll be all right. So she was out shopping somewhere today. She's probably drinking cocktails somewhere now, I would assume.
Yeah, it is about noon there now, or a little early after.
It's about 4 o'clock, so happy hour would have just been starting in Bali. It starts about 4 to 7. So I think she'll be heading to cocktail bar shortly. But anyway, it was good talking to you, mate. You say good day to your family, and we will
we'll chat again next week.
Yeah, okay.
Bye.